But Josh Hart became a genius midair.
Incredible to believe. Gives him a minute. Threw it on top and he caught it back. And puts it in.
But no one did it like Nikola Jokic. See, his basketball IQ is so high, he showed LeBron exactly why they call him the Joker.
The Joker.
Dude forced him, but LeBron wasn't done there, because during the game against the Lakers, LeBron outsmarted everyone.
No look to Zizic, who puts it home.
Yeah, Bron wasted no time to get.
In the NBA, pure talent is only part of the equation. Anyone can be tall, strong, or fast. But the truly elite players, those who leave fans and opponents alike shaking their heads, separate themselves through pure intelligence, split-second decision-making, and the uncanny ability to read the court like a chessboard. Every movement, every glance, every dribble is calculated, almost before the rest of the players even realize what's happening. It's in these moments that basketball transcends athleticism and becomes a mental game, a battle of wits disguised as a physical sport. These are the instances when a player's brain seems to shift into overdrive, anticipating moves that nobody else sees coming, predicting reactions, and controlling the flow of the game with near-perfect precision. It's a blend of instinct, preparation, and strategy, where the mental side of basketball becomes just as important as the physical. Today on NBA Showdown, we are diving into 12 incredible instances where players used 100% of their basketball IQ to completely stun the world. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which of these genius plays blew your mind the most, because here at NBA Showdown, we bring you the sharpest, most jaw-dropping moments the league has ever seen. The first play on our list comes from none other than Ja Morant, a player whose creativity and athleticism constantly push the boundaries of what fans think is possible. On this particular possession, Morant charged down the court with a sense of purpose, the ball glued to his hands, as if he had already seen the outcome before the play even started. Every person in the arena, including defenders, commentators, and fans, was anticipating a straightforward, thunderous dunk, something Morant has made look routine. But what happened next completely defied expectation. Morant leaped into the air with explosive power, and in that split second, he faked the dunk so convincingly that defenders froze mid-motion, unsure of how to react. The fake was not just a trick. It was a calculated manipulation of perception, designed to exploit every second of hesitation. Using that brief window, Morant twisted his body mid-flight, spun with surgical precision, and finished the basket in a way that no one saw coming. This was not raw athleticism alone. It was the product of a player who could anticipate reactions, understand spacing, and exploit defensive tendencies all at once. Plays like this prove that basketball IQ is far more than just knowing where to pass, when to cut, or how to read screen. It's about understanding human behavior in real time, predicting how defenders will respond, and using that to your advantage with flawless execution. Morant's dunk was a perfect example of mental and physical synergy, elite athleticism married to a cerebral understanding of the game. He didn't just score. He orchestrated a mini chess match in the air, with every defender reacting exactly as he had predicted. That's what separates the good from the great, and the great from the transcendent. Watching this play, you realize that every element, the fake, the twist, the finish, was deliberate. It was not just improvisation. It was strategic genius expressed through movement. That is why moments like these remind fans that basketball, at its highest level, is as much a game of the mind as it is of the body.
And first, Ja Morant became the first to fake a dunk in mid-air.
Jaren, Morant, spins and hits again.
Our second example takes us back to the 2017 NBA Finals, a stage where every possession, every decision, and every split-second reaction carried monumental weight. Klay Thompson, already known league-wide for his ice-cold shooting and ability to perform under pressure, suddenly found himself in an extremely precarious situation. Midair, with defenders closing in and the crowd holding its breath, Tristan Thompson delivered a forceful shove that could have turned a routine shot into a catastrophic fall. The kind of misstep that could not only end the play, but potentially jeopardize an entire series or worse, a career. This is where Draymond Green's presence of mind became the difference between disaster and safety. Positioned almost instinctively, Green recognized the impending danger in the blink of an eye and moved with lightning reflexes to intercept Clay's fall. What followed was a moment that, while it didn't appear on the stat sheet, exemplified basketball IQ at its highest level. It wasn't about scoring points or grabbing rebounds. It was about reading the court, predicting trajectories, and understanding the dynamics of the moment in a way that only a truly intelligent player could. That Draymond's intervention was the product of years of experience, observation, and preparation. He knew how players moved, how momentum could shift, and where potential hazards could occur. In that chaotic environment, Green didn't just react, he anticipated. This moment demonstrates that basketball IQ isn't always about flashy highlight reels or spectacular dunks. Sometimes it's about protecting your teammate, ensuring they remain in the game, and maintaining the flow and integrity of a critical match. It's also a reminder that mental sharpness on the court extends beyond individual performance. Green's awareness not only safeguarded Clay from a potential injury, but also allowed the Warriors to maintain their momentum in a final series where every edge mattered. That kind of split-second decision-making, especially under the pressure of championship stakes, is what separates good players from the truly great. Draymond Green's actions in that moment solidified why many analysts and fans consider him one of the smartest and most strategically aware players in the entire NBA. It wasn't a flashy dunk or a buzzer beater, but in the mental game of basketball, it was every bit as brilliant.
First, Ja Morant became the first to fake a dunk in mid-air.
Jaren, Morant, spins and hits again!
It's Tristan Thompson. Oh, and Klay Thompson goes on top of him. And a foul on Klay Thompson.
The third moment comes from Trevor Booker and remains one of the most unconventional and brilliant shots in NBA history. It was late in a tightly contested game. The Utah Jazz had just 2 seconds left on the clock, and the arena held its collective breath. In situations like this, most players would panic, force a conventional shot, or pray for a miracle. Not Booker. He went deep into his mental playbook, thinking creatively under pressure, and executed a move rarely, if ever, seen in the modern game, the infamous grandma shot. Without even glancing at the basket, Booker flicked the ball backward in a delicate yet precise reverse motion, sending it cleanly through the hoop. To the casual observer, it might have seemed like a comedic fluke, a cheeky trick shot in a moment of desperation. But beneath the surface, it was pure basketball intelligence. Booker had assessed the impossibility of a standard shot under such a tiny time window and realized the only way to beat the clock and the defenders was to defy convention entirely. What makes this moment extraordinary is how quickly Booker processed the situation. He recognized the constraints of the clock, understood his position on the court, anticipated the defender's reactions, or lack thereof, and chose a play that was low probability but high payoff. This kind of split-second creativity under pressure is a hallmark of elite basketball. IQ.B. Why choosing the grandma shot? Booker leveraged the rules, the geometry of the court, and the human expectation that no player would ever attempt such an unorthodox move. The defense was caught completely off guard. The clock expired. The ball swished through the net. In less than 2 seconds, Trevor Booker had turned a near-impossible scenario into a perfectly executed, game-changing play. This moment reminds us that basketball IQ is not only about passing lanes, defensive rotations, or reading the opponent. It's also about imagination, adaptability, and fearlessness in critical moments. The best players don't just react, they innovate. And on that play, Booker proved that sometimes the smartest move is the one nobody else even considers. It was unconventional, yes, but it worked brilliantly.
Because the Jazz only had 0.2 seconds to get a shot up, so Trevor Booker went old school.
Booker, got it. If you want to define the phrase grandma shot, that defines the phrase grandma.
Marcelo Huertas delivered one of the most clever defensive plays you will ever witness, and it boiled down entirely to court vision, anticipation, and smart positioning. In this moment, Huertas essentially became invisible to the offense, blending into a spot on the floor where no one expected him to be. He didn't chase the ball or overcommit to a defender. Instead, he carefully studied the spacing, the tendencies of the ball handler, and a natural flow of the offense, placing himself in the perfect position to strike at exactly the right time. For the first several seconds of the play, it seemed like Huertas wasn't a factor. The ball handler and his teammates passed confidently, unaware that Huertas had effectively vanished into the background of the court. Then, in a blink, he sprang into action, pouncing with surgical precision, snatching the ball cleanly out of midair and instantly turning the possession over to his team. What looked like a magical steal was anything but luck. It was the result of deep preparation, acute awareness, and the ability to think several steps ahead in real time. Huertas had studied the opponent's habits and understood exactly where the passing lanes would develop. He knew which angles were hidden from the ball handler's field of vision and used that knowledge to position himself perfectly. By hiding in plain sight, he created a trap that the offense never even knew existed. It's a moment that shows basketball IQ isn't always about flashy blocks, highlight dunks, or fancy dribbles. Sometimes the most impactful plays are cerebral, subtle, and invisible until they completely shift the momentum of the game. Steals like Huertas are proof that the best defenders think like chess masters, calculating not just the next move, but the moves after that. His anticipation changed the possession, gave his team a chance to score, and demonstrated the power of mental acuity over raw athleticism. In a game often celebrated for high-flying spectacle, this play reminds us that the quiet, intelligent battles, reading angles, predicting passes, and using one's mind as sharply as the body, can be just as decisive as any highlight reel moment.
Marcelo Huertas wanted to make a sneaky steal, so he found a new hiding spot.
He hid behind Spoelstra.
The Utah Jazz have long been celebrated for their disciplined teamwork, but this next moment elevated coordination to an entirely new level. On this play, one Jazz player delivered a perfectly timed, pinpoint pass while another soared into the air to catch it and score in one fluid, breathtaking motion. What makes this sequence truly remarkable is the precision required. Every millisecond, every movement had to align perfectly. Any hesitation or misstep would have resulted in a turnover or a missed opportunity. Most teams in this situation would have opted for a safer approach, bringing the ball down to reset the offense, or slowing the game to organize a traditional play. But the Jazz recognized a split-second opening and committed to it instantly. This wasn't just about raw athleticism. It was about trust, anticipation, and an almost telepathic understanding between teammates. The passer had to deliver the ball to exactly the right spot, knowing that his teammate would adjust mid-air to receive it. Meanwhile, the scorer had to be fully prepared to improvise, twisting and aligning his body in perfect harmony with the pass to convert under pressure. This is basketball IQ at its highest level. It's the ability to see opportunities before they fully materialize, to calculate multiple variables in real time, spacing, defensive positioning, timing, and angles, and then commit to a single, perfect action. In essence, it's a mental ballet, executed at breakneck speed, where instinct and practice converge flawlessly. The Jazz didn't just execute the play. They transformed a fleeting, almost imperceptible window of opportunity into a highlight reel moment that left fans, commentators, and opponents alike stunned. Moments like this remind us that basketball brilliance isn't always about flashy dunks or last-second buzzer beaters. Sometimes it's about the quiet, cerebral mastery of the game, the split-second decision-making, trust in teammates, and anticipation that turns chaos into artistry. The Jazz turned what could have been an ordinary possession into a symphony of coordination, showcasing how deep understanding, mental sharpness, and chemistry can make the impossible look effortless.
But the Jazz took it to the next level, because one alley-oop pass wasn't even enough.
Dropped it, put it up, followed by Colin Sexton.
See, Tyrese had nobody open, so he made a pass to himself.
Halliburton, creative.
Kobe Bryant displayed an extraordinary level of basketball intelligence when he executed a play that seemed to defy conventional logic, a possession that resembled pinball in motion, where every bounce, angle, and movement had to be calculated perfectly in real time. On this particular possession, Kobe didn't simply pass the ball in a straight line or rely on the predictable patterns most players would use. Instead, he used the body of an opponent as a tool, bouncing the ball off them in a precise trajectory that directed it straight to a waiting teammate, who finished the play with a clean score. The brilliance of this moment lies not just in execution, but in anticipation, spatial awareness, and split-second decision-making. Kobe's mind was operating at lightning speed, predicting the defender's position, the timing of the bounce, and where his teammate would be in a fraction of a second. He saw the defender not as an obstacle to avoid, but as a resource to manipulate, a living pinball bumper that could redirect the ball exactly where he wanted it. This level of creativity is the hallmark of supreme basketball IQ, the ability to see unconventional solutions under pressure and turn what seems impossible into a tangible scoring opportunity. Performing a high-level mental calculation like this while being chased by defenders, with the clock ticking and the arena holding its breath, demonstrates Kobe's genius. It required supreme confidence, impeccable timing, and complete trust in his teammates' positioning and reaction. There was no margin for error. If the bounce were even slightly off, the defense could have intercepted it, and the play would have collapsed instantly. Instead, Kobe turned a chaotic moment into a masterclass of improvisation and strategy, leaving everyone watching stunned at the combination of foresight, skill, and creativity on display. This play serves as a perfect example of why basketball is as much a mental game as it is a physical one. While physical prowess and athleticism are celebrated, it's the ability to think several moves ahead, to use the environment creatively, and to manipulate the opposition with ingenuity that separates elite players from the merely talented. Kobe Bryant's pinball-like play reminds fans that true greatness on the court is measured not only by points or rebounds, but by how a player bends the game to their will using intellect, vision, and daring imagination.
Mentality was so genius, he made a pass off his defender's back.
This was assist number 10. He throws it off the back of Ibaka, and it ricochets right to Hill.
Kobe was
DeMar DeRozan showcased his remarkable court intelligence in a play that looked almost like a dance across the hardwood. Defenders were braced for a conventional move, a simple drive, a pull-up jumper, or a routine pass, but DeRozan refused to follow the script. Midair, he twisted, pivoted, and adjusted his body in real time, reading the positions of both his teammates and opponents simultaneously. Instead of forcing a shot or relying on a predictable pass, he delivered the ball with flawless timing to a teammate in perfect position, leading to a score that seemed effortless from the stands. What makes this play extraordinary is the mental calculation behind it. DeRozan was simultaneously analyzing trajectories, anticipating defensive reactions, and measuring spatial distances, all while under the pressure of moving at top speed and being airborne. Most players, when faced with that level of chaos, would panic, settle for a low percentage option, or simply try to brute force their way to the basket. DeRozan, however, trusted his perception, his athleticism, and his teammates to execute a play that required both precision and creativity. This wasn't just a single brilliant decision. It was a multidimensional masterclass in basketball IQ. He demonstrated a deep understanding of the flow of the game, the capabilities of each player on the court, and the timing needed to turn a seemingly impossible situation into points on the board. To the untrained eye, it may have looked like instinct, almost effortless artistry. But every pivot, every flick, and every adjustment was the result of intense cognitive processing under extreme pressure, a perfect blend of strategy and athleticism. Moments like this remind fans that basketball is not just about speed, strength, or vertical leaps. The mental side, the ability to see patterns, predict movements, and make split-second decisions, is equally crucial. DeRozan's play was a testament to that cerebral element of the game, showing that true elite players don't just react to the moment. They anticipate it, shape it, and bend it to their will. In short, DeRozan didn't just score points that night. He showcased the very essence of 100% basketball IQ.